I will talk with you, inshallah, about 9 things about Abu Isa Muhammad bin Isa al-Sulami al-Dharir. الضرير احتاج شوية بس يعني. الضرير محمد بن عيسى الترمذي. الضرير it's meaning he was blind. الضرير البوغي from بوغ. الترمذي from ترمذ. The famous Islamic scholar and collector of hadith who wrote Al-Jami' known as Jami' al-Tirmidhi or Sunan al-Tirmidhi, one of the 6 books of hadith. What some scholars have said about al-Tirmidhi. Imam al-Bukhari said to al-Tirmidhi, what you benefit me is more than what I benefit you. And Al-Khalili said, At-Tirmidhi was a memorizer, trusted, agreed. And one of the examples of his status, At-Tirmidhi said about his book, As-Sunan, what made me write this book that I was asked to. That's meaning he was a high status of position of ilm. But I didn't do this for a while. Then I did it because I wanted the benefit for people. His birth. At-Tirmidhi was born in Tirmidh, specifically in Bough, during the reign of the Abbasi Khalifa Al-Ma'mun. That was near the year 210 after Hijrah. And the Imam Al-Dhahabi said, it was said, At-Tirmidhi was born blind, but the true that he became blind when he was old after his journey and writing the science of hadith. His journey. It was said that At-Tirmidhi began his journey for hadith and science of hadith a bit late. His age was more than 20 or 25. Some researchers said that he started about the year 235. And he returned home, Tirmidh, about, or Naysabur, or this area, about 250. He traveled to so many cities and countries. Imam Al-Dhahabi said At-Tirmidhi went to Khurasan, Iraq, and the Haramain, Mecca, Medina. Inside Iraq, there are a lot of cities. Basra, Kufa, Wasit, a lot of cities. Khurasan too, كذلك, a lot of cities. But Shaykh Ahmad Shakir said he thinks At-Tirmidhi didn't go to Baghdad. And Shaykh Ahmad Shakir has 2 reasons for that. The first reason, if he had went there, he would have met Al-Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. But he didn't meet him. So that means he didn't go there. The second reason, Al-Khatib al-Baghdadi, who died at 463, has a book called The History of Baghdad. He writes a profile about who entered Baghdad. But Al-Khatib al-Baghdadi didn't write in this book a profile about At-Tirmidhi. So that means At-Tirmidhi didn't go to Baghdad. And At-Tirmidhi learned a lot from a lot of scholars, shuyukh. One of his famous scholars, his shuyukh, his teachers, Muhammad bin Ismail al-Bukhari, Al-Imam Al-Bukhari, who wrote the Sahih Al-Bukhari. Their relationship began in Nisabur, about 250. When Bukhari came after years he spent for writing hadith and the science of hadith. Al-Bukhari was close to the mid-50s. Al-Tirmidhi was in the early of 40s. So this meeting was after many years. Both of them spent with hadith and science of hadith. His relationship with Al-Bukhari was very strong. And the books of Tirmidhi are full of questions asked by Tirmidhi to Al-Bukhari. So he kept and saved a lot of knowledge of Imam Al-Bukhari in his books. At-Tirmidhi said about Al-Bukhari, what was in this book, يعني Al-Sunan or Al-Jami' or Al-Ilal, what was in this book of talking about the validity of hadith and min and history is what I took from the book of Al-Bukhari, which is called Tarikh. But the more of that I discussed with Al-Bukhari. And some I discussed with Ad-Darimi and Abu Zur'a Al-Razi. Then At-Tirmidhi said, I haven't seen in Iraq or Khurasan who has the knowledge of validity of hadith and min and history as Muhammad ibn Ismail Bukhari was. His doctrine. He was on the doctrine of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, of course. And Shaykh Tariq Awadallah collected text and phrases about that from Tirmidhi books. And he collected it in one book. He called it the doctrine of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah from the book of At-Tirmidhi. The fiqh. Did the Tirmidhi was one of the four Imams followers? One of the four Imams. Who are the four Imams? Abu Hanifa, Shafi'i, Malik, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. Did At-Tirmidhi was one of the followers of one of them? Huh? Imam Ahmad Hanbal. Huh? Any other answer? Only one answer? He's stronger than you? Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah was asked about that. And he said, Muslim, Imam Muslim, Tirmidhi, An-Nasa'i, Ibn Majah, Ibn Khuzaymah, and others, they are following Ahl al-Hadith, such as Shafi'i, Ahmad bin Hanbal, Ishaq bin Rahawayh, Abu Ubaid al-Qasim bin Salam. They are following them, but they are not following one of them specifically. Not one specific scholar. No, all of them. His books, he has Al-Jami', Sunan Tirmidhi. Imam Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali explained Ahadith Jami' Tirmidhi. Then he said, Tirmidhi asked Allah Azza wa Jal when he finished his book that to benefit the people. Ibn Rajab said also, and the result of his dua was visibly. It was clear. We saw all people take the benefit from this book. He has another book, Al-Shama'il Al-Muhammadiyya, and Al-Ilal Al-Kabir, and Al-Ilal Al-Saghir, and other books. The last thing I will talk about Tirmidhi, his death. Ibn Makawala said, he's died in Tirmidh on the night of Monday, at 13th night of Rajab, the year 279 after Hijrah. وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد. كم تقريبا؟ ويا
Any question before I start my part? About the life of Tirmidhi or his place?
He was blind when he was blind by birth, you said, or he was blind after writing. You said two things.
There are two opinions, but Imam Al-Dhahabi said the true. There are two opinions, but the Imam Al-Dhahabi said the true. He became blind after his journey to collect hadith, and he wrote his books, and not when he